or charity, which is an obligation on every member of the community who has surplus wealth. Everyone who has surplus wealth above a minimum is required to give 2.5% of it to the poor. Not to the church, the temple, or the mosque, or to the imam or the priest, but to the poor. Recirculating some of our surplus with the needy members of the society and the community. And again, anyone who believes in God, even if you didn't believe in God, you would say, that's a good thing. That's beneficial. It is helpful. And the last of the pillars, the one which might be a little different, that of the pilgrimage, Hajj.
Islam is a way of life.
Hajj, the fifth pillar of Islam, where Muslims once every year gather, some 3 million strong. It is a requirement once in a lifetime for those who are able. Those who are not are required to desire it. And what it represents is a celebration of the diversity of humankind and the greatness of God. Because as a Muslim here, Muslims of India are taught that God has created all human beings equal. Doesn't matter what so-called race they belong to, caste or position in society, etc., they are really all equal and one. But the reality of it isn't experienced until a person goes to Hajj. When a person goes to Hajj, goes to Mecca, he meets there, or she meets there, people from all parts of the world. And the universality of that message of the oneness of humankind comes alive on a scale which is unimaginable, except for those who actually get there and see it. It's very difficult even to describe. But it's a celebration of that variety and of the fact that there is one God that brought them there, who created them and brought them there. And it is also many of the rites performed there, rites of worship, are focused on Prophet Abraham and his willingness to sacrifice his own son at the command of God. Muslims accept Prophet Abraham as one of the prophets of God, and we as Muslims are required to believe that God sent prophets everywhere in the world. Over 124,000 prophets. Prophets were sent everywhere. Well, of those that have remained, those that we know of, Prophet Abraham is one who is spoken about quite often in the Quran, and his sacrifice, his willingness to sacrifice his son, is commemorated in the rites of Hajj itself. So the idea of people gathering to celebrate the unity of humankind and the oneness of God, and the need for human beings to be prepared to sacrifice themselves for the sake of God, meaning for the sake of what is good and what is right. We should be prepared to sacrifice anything which God has given us, because whatever we have belongs to God. Then again, even though the practice of pilgrimage may not be found in some religions, the concept itself is, again, a universal concept. So the basic pillars of Islam are pillars which are universally recognized, universally accepted. And that is what we have come to share here with you this afternoon. We'd like to share it with you, and any misunderstandings or anything which is not clear of these pillars or our practices, we are here to clarify them for you. And with that, I think now we will turn over the floor to you to share any issues or any points that you'd like clarified. And please do not feel shy. Know that whatever you say, we will take it in the spirit of understanding and an attempt to get a clear understanding, a better understanding, and not one that you're trying to attack us or one that you're trying to hurt our feelings. So don't be shy to ask any question. Don't feel that any question is too embarrassing or whatever. This is our welcome to you to share with us anything you have. Thank you very much for being here, and we hope that you will share. Please.
My name is Professor Selvarajan from Madras University. I received invitation from you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, he has given a beautiful account of the 5 pillars of the Islam. And because your Islam is in a different language, many people are not aware of it. Now I had a very good perception of what Islam and 5 pillars. Sir, our President Abdul Kalam has been telling that we must have a vision of universal brotherhood and a global family. I think you must have heard of our President Abdul Kalam. But when we go to airport or when we get into flight, we are always suspecting everyone and searching all suitcases, everything. Life is full of tension. When do you think this global family would come up? Thank you.
Well, I think that the global family will only come when we are able to understand each other on the most basic levels. If we are unable to understand each other, if there are tensions amongst us between ourselves and our neighbors, you know, our communities from state to state or whatever, you know, we have not established that communication, those open lines of communication on the most basic levels, then we cannot expect it to appear on the higher levels. You know, perhaps maybe we're thinking from the top down, but we need to think from the bottom up. So we need more and more gatherings of this type, you know, shared by various communities where we can share our beliefs with each other and come to mutual understandings and to work out whatever problems and misunderstandings exist amongst us. Because truly we are one humanity, we are from the same origin, and as we accept differences amongst brothers within our own families, why can't we accept differences among brothers in humanity in our own points of view about life?
Dr. Rajan, I am a scientist from the Ministry of Agriculture, and I am also a member from the International Association of Lions Clubs, wherein I have participated in the international conference in Denver, Colorado, USA last year. And I am also the World Constitution World Parliament member that was constituted in Virginia University. And now I have one question. God is one. We represent different religions for worship. We human beings representing from various religions for worship. And why we embrace that is Islam? Kindly enlighten this point.
As far as Muslims believe, and now we're talking about sharing belief, right? Muslims believe, yes, that there is only one God. There is only one human race. Even though we've been told there is a variety of races, no, there's just one. And therefore, the need of human beings to worship God, to live in accordance with God's will, that need is fulfilled through God revealing one religion. Because human beings don't have different needs in that sense. We all have the same emotions, it's the same psychology. Our organization of societies may differ because of technology and things, but basically it's the same. We have a family structure, we have communities, we have states, wherever you go. in history, no matter how far back you go in time, it is the same situation. Human beings have not changed. So we believe that when God created the first two human beings, Adam and Eve, he taught them, he informed them of how he wanted them to live. That we call religion. How he wanted them to live, because he gave them guidelines in terms of how they should relate between themselves, interpersonal relationships, how they should relate to the world around them, which God has provided for them,